Ladies and gentlemen, another teaser trailer has just dropped for Black Ops 6 Zombies DLC 4, and we have the return of a beloved character that is now an enemy. Drop a like rating if you're excited. Here's the teaser, and I'll be back to break it down.
I intend to purge you thoroughly.
That's right, my friends, the return of the Panzer Soldat within the final map. But there is a bit of a twist, because that's not a normal Panzer or a Kranzi Soldat, but inside of that is our robot friend from MrDalekJD, Black Ops Cold War, known as Klaus. Now, we'll get into that in a moment, but we need to start breaking this teaser trailer down from the very beginning. Now, at the beginning, we see the time is 10:40, which is 5 hours after teaser number 2. Immediately, as the character looks around, we can see a red portal on the wall, confirming that we'll be able to fast travel to this specific part of this tower. But compared to the previous teasers we've seen so far, this is a pretty small area that has a very open section towards the rooftop, where we see characters pulling soldiers' dead bodies, which we're assuming is other Janus security personnel, which if is an environmental detail that we'll see as we play in the map, then that is really damn cool. As whilst we're taking down the undead, there are actual real human AI that are going to be trying to leave and save people as we're fighting. But as that character is pulling a dead soldier, we can see the main playable character look towards this, which is of course a fast travel teleporter pad, which seems to be on the very edge of the rooftop here, confirming that fast travel portals will exist on the map that will allow us to traverse between different towers. Up until now, we've been a little bit confused about how exactly we're going to traverse across multiple towers, as the Shattered Veil ending shows that there are multiple towers that clearly have quite big gaps between them. We're not going to be doing die-rise level jumping off rooftops to other rooftops, but instead taking fast travels, which seems very similar in the design to what we saw in maps like Firebase Z to go from the spawn to the actual firebase, as well as on the map Forsaken. From this moment, the footage cuts and we are suddenly 2 hours ahead. We're in a brand new room, where as a character looks down on the ground, we can see a soldier struggling to get up. As the character makes their way pretty briskly through this room, we can see on the right side there's a zombie horde. To the left side there's a zombie horde. This person is absolutely outnumbered and is about to face their demise. And as they run to what I assume could be a teleporter pad or something that could relate to the previous teaser's room, we get a Panzer Soldat landing. But that's not any old Panzer Soldat, because inside of the Panzer Soldat is the head and soul of Klaus the robot, who punches the player, and then the footage cuts out. We get the quote, "I intend to purge you thoroughly," and it is voiced by none other than Klaus the robot. Now, this could all tie in with yesterday's teaser, where we got a tease of a manufacturing plant within one of the towers, showcasing that Richtofen was building and manufacturing a ton of robots. There were robot heads, robots that were hanging off the ceiling. So clearly Richtofen was manufacturing a ton of robots. The origins of Klaus is he was a robot that was created by Elizabeth Grey. The whole reason for his existence was to be capable of long-range and hand-to-hand combat. At the time was not yet ready for actual combat scenarios. And at some point, Klaus goes missing, where we learn that Richtofen pulled him out of research and development to be deployed in MrDalekJD, and was secretly reprogrammed by Richtofen to eliminate agents from the safe house who intercepted a classified message regarding Project Janus. At the very end of Black Ops Cold War, Klaus sacrificed himself by carrying a set of inversion warheads in hand into the Dark Ether, so that rather than be destroyed within our reality, would instead be destroyed within the Dark Ether. He bids us farewell before entering the portal and detonating the warheads from within. And this was the last time that we have canonically seen Klaus within the zombie storyline. Ever since Black Ops 6 was revealed and we got the beta, I was very suspicious about the fact that Klaus was in the game as an operator. The design of Klaus is different to the one that we saw in Black Ops Cold War, where you can clearly see there is a lot of damage to the metal covering on his body, revealing the flesh underneath. Clearly he is back and he is evil, but there are two explanations here. Either the Klaus that we're seeing is the same Klaus that sacrificed himself within the Dark Ether, or what we're seeing here is, with yesterday's teaser, the director tried to replicate Klaus from Elizabeth Grey's blueprints to create a deadly army of robots that would listen to his every wish, and somehow during that process there was a clear malfunction where the robots potentially became sentient. What we see here is absolutely Klaus from his voice lines fusing into the body of a Kranzi soldat to become the new version of the Panzer Soldat for Black Ops 6. Now, if you tune into a ton of videos on my channel, we've been covering a bunch of news, details, and rumors about DLC 4 for the past few months now. And in the game files under enemy types, ever since the release of the game in October, there was code founded for a enemy type known as Mecha Klaus. And up until now, we haven't seen any of that within the DLC maps. But clearly what we're seeing in this teaser is absolutely a mech version of Klaus, which means we can 99.9% confirm that that rumor and leak was true. And what we're seeing here is this enemy type called Mecha Klaus. And we now know for sure that this is going to be a new version of the Panzer. And in terms of design, this thing looks absolutely amazing. Treyarch definitely cooked in this department, creating what looks to be an incredibly menacing design here, with a yellow glowing light underneath the head to illuminate the head, the fact that the eyes are glowing yellow as well. And whilst it's very short, we can't actually see both hands here. You can see that he has at least an attack, which is a melee punch. Either that was for the sake of the cinematic teaser that we're seeing, or this will actually translate into the map and real gameplay. Caption for this teaser is "Help was never on the way." And the first half of the teaser just shows that the escape route that the Janus security were going to use, this teleporter, clearly is no longer functioning. And that could also be a hint as to how it will be when we first load into the map, potentially hinting at a more traditional power system like we saw on the map Terminus, where we have to actually power on these teleporters so that we can traverse between the different towers. There were rumors that there could be a grappling hook of some kind on this map, and I still am hoping that we'll see something like that, because it does seem some parts of this map may have been reused from that campaign mission that involves a grappling hook, but we will just have to wait and see. An interesting thing to take note of as well is now that we've had 3 days of teasers and we can put all 3 teaser videos back to back, the style of them are all the same, taken from Janus security body cams. Either the first 2 teasers were from the perspective of John Blanchard entering the towers, but we can definitely confirm that this final one seems to just be body cam from just standard Janus security. So a very different perspective in a way of marketing a zombies map than us being in the eyes of a very important character in the storyline of that specific map, but we're just seeing this in the eyes of generic Janus security, which is really cool. The last time we had any sort of thing similar to this is the random security guards you'll find on Terminus. So whilst we are getting glimpses of the new map from a gameplay perspective, which is also something we haven't really had before, they're also keeping a ton of things very tight-lipped, which I think is really good considering that this is the finale. I'd love to know what you think down below in the comment section of our first look at the new enemy type Mecha Klaus, the combo of Klaus and a Panzer Soldat. Very exciting times. It is a Friday, so I'm not sure if we're going to be getting any more teasers until next week, but if we do, they'll be here on the channel immediately. I've always got you guys, so make sure you're subscribed and turn on the bell. Although coverage on videos next week might be a little different to what you're normally used to quality-wise, as I will be away in Los Angeles for the Battlefield 6 multiplayer reveal. That will be really fun, happening next week, July 31st, so my mic might sound different. The actual videos themselves, the quality, the speed of them for any teasers and reveals will be just as quick as you've always expected. I got you. And this box appearing on your screen right now will take you to another teaser if you've missed them, but you might also be able to click above to the next teaser that's dropped. So be sure to click that. I'll be with you in a moment.